Hey guys, it's me back again with a new video. This is going to be what if Naruto, or not Naruto, but Luffy had Kurama. I decided that I'm probably going to make a separate video to explain how this happened, but there isn't really much of an introduction, no recaps or anything like that, so yeah, let's get to the story. Anyways, I do want to say some portions of the story are exactly going to be the same, which is going to be the first part of the story with the Marine Captain, Kuro, Buggy the Clown, and Alvida. That stuff is all going to be the same, and I don't really see it changing. Luffy never really struggled enough to be in an anger, or he was probably mad but not mad enough to awaken Kurama's chakra. So yeah, I'm straight away just going to go to maybe, I don't know if he'll awaken it after Barasti Ray to get past the defense, or he might awaken it at Arlong Park, which I think he's most likely going to awaken it at Arlong Park. I could say that he awakens his chakra at the Barasti Ray, but okay, I know I'm butchering it very badly. Yeah, okay, that's besides the point. Anyways, I would say that he awakens his chakra at Barasti Ray, but I know he's not going to really use his chakra for much. He's actually just going to ignore it for now and maybe save it for later. But he would actually try to maybe apply chakra to his punches, which it would more or less actually hurt him than hurting his enemy, because Luffy does not have good control over his chakra, so it would actually be more hurting his chakra points. I do want to say Luffy would probably learn how to use chakra in his punches and kicks in the later future, but just not right now. Anyways, I'm gonna say the events actually go maybe a little bit more canon. Maybe Luffy's a little bit more wounded in his punches because he did basically hurt himself accidentally, and there's going to be like parts that are going to be basically canon with Luffy basically saying absolutely everything, and Luffy would start to get madder and madder as time goes, which would definitely have an influence in this whole thing. And when he meets Arlong, Luffy's actually pretty madder than he, like way madder than he should be, this being an influence of Kurama. And Arlong actually would be able to beat Luffy even easier in canon, and being able to send him off the ocean, Luffy being clouded by his rage. Luffy would even get increasingly madder in the ocean not being able to get up. Then this part would actually go canon, them getting Luffy out of the ocean, and then Arlong would proceed to get into a spew and everything, and that would basically be the bullying point. Luffy would proceed to boil over and proceed to unlock Kurama's chakra. It wouldn't be too major, it would only be the Zero Tails, and I do want to say the fight wouldn't be as drawn out. Luffy would be destroying Arlong with the Nine Tails basically giving him a basic multiplier, and Luffy would actually defeat Arlong even before Sanji's and Zoro's fights. Luffy would give backup to Zoro and Sanji, also being able to help them defeat, and Luffy would let them get the last blow. This is a Luffy that is less mad, so he's not going to be able to do as much damage, and Luffy does not get that natural strength boost in his battles. He'd also still destroy all the work that Nami did as well. And he would actually leave Arlong Park in complete ruins. There wouldn't be that much left of Arlong Park like the original. So after this, they would get their bounties, the guy that stole Nami's money still giving the basic information to the government. The bounties would actually go the exact same in canon, but Luffy would actually be pretty curious on what that power was. He knew it wasn't his own power that managed to defeat Arlong, and even the crew proceeds to question this, proceeding to say they saw in the visible red chakra of the Nine Tails form, and they would be pretty surprised because they didn't know that this was a part of Luffy's devil fruit. And we would actually see Zoro visiting Luffy, proceeding to say, you should maybe try to find out where that power came from. Luffy would think and proceed to say, yeah, that actually might be a good idea. Zoro would just say, then get onto it, I guess. Luffy would proceed to question Zoro on maybe how can he get onto being able to unlock that power. And Zoro proceeded to say, well, you could try to meditate or maybe train until you fall. Luffy would think of this and proceed to say, yeah, I might try that. Luffy would actually proceed to make a stop at an island with a gigantic forest. It basically having the basics of mountains, wild animals, and everything like that. Luffy would proceed to go to the forest, training all day until he proceeds to drop. Nami would actually proceed to go to Luffy, proceeding to say they should leave soon and they should try to go to the Grand Line, or originally they're going to make a stop at Locktown. Luffy would proceed to say it's fine and right now he just wants to keep on training. Nami would proceed to sigh, proceeding to say, okay, don't train any more longer, and we're gonna leave here at least in another day. Luffy would smile, passing out. He would awaken in a cave. This being really odd to him. Then he would proceed to get out of the cave, seeing a gigantic forest. It would look like the forest from his childhood, maybe with a few differences, but that's all. He proceeded to explore the forest, seeing pretty much a gigantic path. He would proceed to go through the path, and then he would proceed to see a gigantic cage. Or not a cage. I'm actually going to say that he sees a gigantic fox with 9 swirling tails. Kurama would proceed to say, well, I do have to actually say that your mindscape is a lot better than my last containers. Luffy would be really confused by this. Mindscape? Kurama, realizing that he was babbling off, proceeded to say, well then, I presume that your name is Monkey D. Luffy by the memories that I can see in your head. Luffy would actually notice that this fox actually knows his name and might know absolutely everything about him. Well, Fox, right? You can talk, right? But what do you think? I've been talking to you for this whole entire time. Yes, I can talk. Luffy would proceed to rub his head and laugh and proceed to say, hey, but do you know what happened with, like, the power thing? Do you mean my chakra? Luffy would proceed to respond with, what's chakra? You do not know what chakra is? Kurama would proceed to thinking, what time have I been transported to where chakra does not exist? Kurama would actually proceed to sense outside of his host, feeling chakra but insanely dormant amount, and they're pretty small amount, and he would proceed to sense Luffy's chakra, which has been growing since he has awakened it, and is pretty much right now the size of a academy student, or actually not an academy student. I'm gonna say his chakra levels are the size of Naruto's right now, or Kid Naruto. Or I'm actually gonna say that's a little bit too big. He has 2 times more chakra than Kakashi right now. Luffy proceeds to say, so did you have anything to do with that power? And Kurama proceeds to say, yes, I would say I did have something to do with the power. It probably activated with your rage. Luffy would proceed to think of this and proceed to say, cool, so can I have access to the power? Kurama would actually proceed to say, why not? Transporting to host does get tiring, and I might as well see what would happen in the later future, and this might become entertaining. Mr. Ninetails, you're doing it again, you're babbling on. Kurama would proceed to cough and proceed to say, yes, I suppose I am. Sorry that the video cut off there, but anyways, let's get back to the story. Well then, Monkey D. Luffy, you will only have access to my Zero Tails chakra, which is the same amount of chakra that you use against that fish man. Oh, okay, that sounds pretty cool. Anyways, is there anything else that you can teach me? Yes, I'm actually pretty bored in here, but let me actually tell you some of the side effects of my chakra. Oh, okay, Mr. Ninetails, what's the side effects? Well, there isn't actually going to be any side effects with the first stage, unless you get engulfed by anger. You will be able to use the first stage of chakra without having any rage, unless something is bringing you rage. And when you do have rage, make sure it doesn't boil over, kid. Oh, okay. So what are the side effects? You'd be able to unlock more levels of the chakra. Isn't that a good thing? No, it actually isn't. You'd be able to lose control, and you would even attack your crewmates. I'm pretty sure that's what you call them, right? Yeah, they're called crewmates. Do you know anything about pirates? Kurama proceeded to say, no, not really. I was more in a world that was about shinobi. It was more of like an era, the shinobi era. That era ended much long ago. I do believe some remnants of the shinobi world still exist and have actually evolved here, being something from the force of death that my old container did long ago. This being some of the beasts that you have in your world, but that's besides the point. I'm getting off track. If you lose control of my chakra, you will go completely primal and you will attack your crewmates. And it also is going to take a lot to restrain yourself from even killing any of your enemies, which I can sense that you're a lot like my old creator, which did not like killing. There are also other side effects, being chakra burns, that can come from my more final forms, being my 4 tails form, 5 tails form, 6 tails form, and just my other forms. And some benefits of my form are extreme regeneration and lack of fatigue, including with some tailed beast attacks, which you will find later in your journey as you unlock more levels of my chakra, and which I will give you more levels of my chakra each person that you defeat that I see as remarkable or a gigantic stepping stone in your path. And I will even give you a technique from my old creator. And I can also sense that your double fruit has more secrets for you to unlock, and that you might unlock very late in the future. Luffy would try to process some of this information, which he'd be able to process most of it, but he'd be curious about his double fruit having more secrets. But he'd put this at the back of his hand, proceeding to say, so, can we learn the new technique? Okay then, kid, don't get so impatient, but let me tell you the technique. This technique is called multi-shellacor jutsu, and right after I teach you this technique, I recommend you learn these basic techniques: water walking, wall walking, and to use your chakra in your body parts. This is only achieved by mostly medical jutsus, but I believe that you might be able to achieve this with your rubber, or your qualities of your devil fruit might be able to help with this, acting maybe like a chakra blade. Actually, anyways, I never asked you, what's your name? Kid, you can call me Kurama. Kurama would proceed to teach Luffy multi-shellacor jutsu by showing him old memories, telling him the basics on how to do it, and what he observed from his host. Luffy would proceed to say, and proceed to thank Kurama for teaching him this technique. Kurama would proceed to say, don't sweat it, kid. Just get out and have some fun, or, like I said before, train your chakra that I just gave you, train the techniques that I said that you could train with your chakra. And yeah, here's one more thing, a little bit of a chakra boost for your multi-shellacor jutsu. Oh, wait a minute, I feel like I'm forgetting something. And Luffy will proceed to say, I think I'm just gonna go. And the Kurama say, wait, one more minute. Your shadow clones can helpfully increase the time that you can learn a technique, okay, kid? So if you want to learn any type of technique, I recommend you use shadow clones. You can get the memories from that. You can't increase your physical strength, but you can learn pretty much any technique in a decent amount of time. Luffy would proceed to smile at Kurama, proceeding to say, thank you. You're welcome, kid. Luffy would proceed to get out of his mindscape, expecting it to already be night, but it's still day. How is it still day? And then Kurama proceeds to go in Luffy's head, proceeding to say, that's just a side effect of being in the mindscape. Luffy would proceed to jump, proceeding to say, oh, I did not expect that. Kurama would proceed to laugh, proceeding to say, anyways, kid, just start your training. Luffy would proceed to say, "Yes, sensei." Luffy would get wall climbing down, and he would even practice using a little bit of Kurama's chakra, and even be able to practice on a couple of trees, basically battering them. Luffy would proceed to try to use chakra in his fist with he's not getting anywhere right now. But Luffy would not give up. He would actually proceed to produce some progress, and he would actually succeed, but you notice from each of these chakra punches that it gave him uncontrollable monstrous strength, which he knows that he has to learn how to control. Luffy would proceed to realize after he did a rapid gum pistol with enhanced chakra, he would see the difficulties and he would be insanely tired. Yeah, that took a lot for me to say. Anyways, let's get back to the video. After Luffy would proceed to be done with practicing chakra in his fist, he would get wall walking down. Now he just has to do water walking, which Luffy is really nervous about, and would even request Usopp to maybe accompany him just in case if he falls in the lake, which yeah, that's gonna happen a lot. Usopp would proceed to question Luffy on why he's doing this, and how does Luffy stand in the water for a couple of seconds and then proceed to slip in. Luffy would proceed to laugh, proceeding to say, that's just a part of my double fruit. Usopp would pretty much be a little bit suspicious, but he would just put this at the back of his head, which Luffy would be pretty relieved. And Luffy has never hid a secret from his crew, so he is pretty nervous about this. A couple of hours later, Luffy would proceed to get used to water walking and would actually be able to sprint on the water, run on the water, walk on the water, yeah, pretty much do everything on the water. Usopp would proceed to say that this is pretty cool, and this basically got rid of Luffy's weakness being to water. But Luffy isn't paying attention to Usopp. Right now, he's just pretty much celebrating that he managed to walk on water, basically getting rid of one of his weaknesses. Luffy would proceed to think that now he can do some more practice and putting some chakra in his fist, but Nami would proceeding to say, hey, they gotta leave, and it's already been a day, and if Luffy refuses again, then she's just leaving the crew. Luffy would proceed to hear this and proceed to say, and he would proceed to apologize for waiting so long to get out of the island, but proceed to say, okay then, let's go. Anyways, I forgot to say this is the 800 subscribe special, which you can tell this is a little bit rushed because I didn't even realize that I reached 800 subscribers, and I just want to thank all of you for 800 people being a part of this community. Also, sorry if I said basically a lot, I just have to get out of that habit again. Also, school ended. My PC is at my home now, so I can post a lot more. So, you might get 2 uploads per week, which if you don't get 2 uploads per week, that means I was being lazy. I hope you guys have a great day, week, year, and just overall hope you guys are happy, enjoy the uploads, come back, and this is actually going to be goodbye.